How's it guys? Welcome to Reptile Garden. In this video we're going to be covering this room. It was the latest massive build that I've done, and believe it or not, this actually took me longer to build than my whole reptile park base in Stodels. I think that took me about 3 months of solid graft from 8 in the morning till 6 at night for 3 months, and I lost like 10 kilos on that build. So yeah, that was pretty big, but this took me a lot longer. All the details and everything that was involved in this was a lot of work, a big headache, but in the end really worth it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be covering from the floor to the ceiling what materials I used for this build and the reasons why I went with these materials. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please do subscribe, give us a like. We've got a lot more coming. I chose to do an epoxy floor because it's nice and easy to clean. It's also very hard wearing. I'm pretty much the only person who comes in here, and it's just to obviously check on my critters now and again. So I went with a sort of nebula galaxy space theme. We've got a big black hole here in the middle that's pretty much sucking the nebula in. I've got the walls transitioning into the floor, and there is quite a lot of different pigments and things that went into this floor. So I've got a lot of metallics. We started off with a metallic black, and I've got the grays here as like sort of space dust, and then I've got some nice bright colors that ties it all together. So I've got glow-in-the-dark pigments. There's chameleon colors, which color shifting. So if you see these dots here, like that purple and that blue, and then these purple markings over here, as you move through the room, they change color: blue, greens, golds. Here you can see, so it changes from purple to blue. And then we've got some holographic glitter that also changes as you move around. Now, this was the first ever epoxy project that I've ever done. I did quite a lot of research before jumping into this, obviously. But the one kit gelled on me very quickly, and that got me into a bit of panic stations. So I didn't get the exact look I was looking for. I wanted things to sort of tie together a little bit better. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out anyway. A lot of this was from the floors slightly slanting. We get some of this interesting look. And then I went with a bit too many chameleon colors on the edges, so they don't actually end up shining. You actually have to have it very, very thin, like this area here. So you see, that would have been sick to have that all around, except this was all meant to be green, gold, and blue. So the whole edges would shift and change as you move around. Hey, you live and you learn. And then I really wish I never put the top coating on that was recommended to me, because it didn't go on as smooth as what the epoxy was, and then the wheels actually left marks on it when I moved these big units around. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy. It looks good, and as I say, for hygiene purposes, it came out really well. Very, very happy with it. Right, so let's tackle the roof and the walls. I got sheets of foam, good insulation foam, but they weren't very smooth and obviously not very hard, so it's not easy for cleaning. I was looking at other companies that provide, a nice hard skin like aluminium skin or whatever over them. They do truck bodies and things like that, but it's extremely expensive. So I decided to shape the foam, which was worth it in the long run, but my word, was it a lot of work. So you can see here how thick they are, which provides very, very good insulation for this room. Now, we get a lot of load shedding and things here in South Africa where they turn our power off because they can't keep it on. And sometimes they're going to be 2 hours a day, sometimes they're going to be twice a day for those periods of time. Sometimes it can be even longer. So I went with this insulation so that this room is very, very well temperature controlled. I don't even need air conditioning because the snakes in here do like it pretty cool. And but I think I might add one at a later stage anyway, just to be safe. So this gave me a lot of time to practice on shaping rocks and things. Obviously I've got the main sort of cave theme going on here. And the reason I also went with these colors, I can't go too dark like the inside of a cave with grays and black and what have you. I need the light to bounce off and light the room. So I went from whites, yellows, orange, fades into red. So it's also like staining, you know, how a cave would be. So I'm really happy with how it came out, but this was the majority of the work. Getting all of this right took a lot of time. And then what I did is I just painted this all with a PVA. So you can actually hear it's just raw foam, but it's nice and strong. And it was quite cool to get all different themes and looks about it. I got a bit lazy here. There was a cage that was covering this area, but I'm going to be building a racking unit over here to house babies for when I do breed these snakes one day. You're going to see another different rock look over here. So yeah, this gave me a lot of practice trying to get this all right. I've got some nice looking pieces over there. So I learned a lot from this. And then the roof I wanted to sort of tie with the floor, so we got the nebula vibe going through the middle. So I wanted crystals going through the top. So my lights are behind this fiberglass. And these are just glass that's stuck on it to look like crystals. One day when I find the time and I'm all old and retired, I'm gonna fill the little gaps with actual real crystals and things hanging off. But yeah, I'm not gonna get to that anytime soon. So you can see the crack goes all the way through, joining the room. And then at the end of the room here, I'm just going to finish this blank wall. I didn't like it just being all blank and all. So what I've done is I've got some hexagon tiles I'm sticking around, and I'm going to do a bit of an art piece that's going to all blend it in together and tie the floor to the wall into the ceiling, something like that. So yeah, that's something fun for me to do in time. And there's also chameleon colors on these tiles. So when you move around, you actually get the different looks. But the lighting at the moment is not too good on them. So this is night mode. Now guys, I don't leave these lights on. This will obviously disturb the animals if it's done for long periods of time. And I've actually checked on the animals when these lights are on, and they don't seem to react whatsoever. But yeah, it's not ideal. It's just I just thought I'd install them while I put the lighting and crystal section up. It's pretty cool. And it gives a really cool look, which I can just do now and again, which is for fun. It really makes it quite trippy in here. Okay, now I'm sure you've all been waiting. You want to see what's inside these enclosures. Well, there we go. Here's one of our girls. This room is just full of gaboon vipers. So let's take a look at some of these cages. Okay, at first looks not so pretty. I've got this awesome room, and then I've got these cages with beautiful gaboon vipers on paper. What am I thinking? Now, the reason I've got these animals on paper is so that I can see if there's any signs of anything that could be wrong with them. I would be able to see if there's a little bit of slime or snot that's been coughed up, if the female's leaving something from the cloaca that's happening. When it comes to breeding time, I'll be able to see if any action happened, because a lot of the time you're not going to see anything, so I can see if anything has happened in that sense. Now it looks all messy because of all the humidity, and obviously wetting it from time and time again. Do a nice spray, simulate sort of rainy season, stuff like that. Okay, so now these cages here, they are 2.4 meters long. The one at the bottom is the full length. And then I've got these little hollows, and everyone's offset from one another. Okay, so they're pool coated cages, like I've done in previous videos. And the back of these cages, I burnt them with a blowtorch just to get that wood grain popping out a little bit. It looks really cool. I can fill this cage with water until the first gap, where obviously it's going to leak out the window. These cages will last longer than I will, that's for sure. So I won't have to do any more changes in this room. The girls have got plenty of space to move around and do their thing. And I get these cardboard boxes which I make into little hides, give them options to move around and so on. And I can always just replace those. But eventually I'd like to make them nice hides and things and tie the roof into it as well. So, yeah, it seems like such a shame to have such a beautiful snake on paper, but I mean, I've got so many other gaboons and they're in naturalistic enclosures and they're very, very happy, and I can look at those ones too. So eventually I will probably put these ones on substrates, but for now just sticking with the paper is easier for me to note everything. I just want to make sure that I can breed these animals, get more albinos, and then I'll be happy to put them on substrates. Then I don't have to be as cautious, because these are the only ones in the world, the albinos and the possible hets here. And all this room is full of the babies. All 20 are still going strong, haven't lost any of them. Okay, so heating wise, we've got heat projectors. So the heating from this cage here heats up down there, nice basking spot. The one at below doesn't get any heating from below, so I put in a little heat pad with a slightly lower temperature there. And we've got a day-night dimmerstat, so we can control the temperatures. And then I've got humidity, and it's a humidity and temperature controller, but I've got the temperature side just to tell me what temperature it is on the cool side. So that's quite nice. We've got good temperature variation, humidity control. So at night, my humidity turns off, so we get a drop in humidity as well. So we've got these foggers. They work like a charm, and they will pump in the fog, get the humidity nice. And the nice thing about the foggers is that you don't get stagnant air, because they're pulling fresh air and they're blowing it into the cage. Whereas if sometimes you want to up your humidity, you end up blocking a bit of ventilation, and then you're going to get respiratory issues. Guys, ventilation is extremely important. So here you can see this fogger is just kicked in, it's blowing in, now it's just turned off. And then I keep their sponges. So this sponge is for this girl down here. Each animal's got its own individual sponge. And I've got my books and everything for record keeping, my temp gun for checking on things as well. Okay, so these are my cages. I was saying 2.4 long, they're 90 deep, so nice and deep as well. And then each section's about 40 odd centimeters high. And the heat that comes off of these heat projectors will gently warm this enclosure here, so they get a nice gentle belly heat, and then basking spot from the heat projector above. Working very, very well. And then in the room I have got this fogger here just to raise the ambient humidity with that controller over there. And it's just some more of my wall here with my plant starting to grow nicely. Cool. Now I guess you guys want to see the albinos. Everybody wants to get an update on them. They are bigger. That's it. Video ends. Sorry guys. No, I'm joking. Hold on. I'll get one up. Right, everybody, say hello, Ruby. This is Ruby, the one female. She's the redder one of the two females. You can see a beautiful head. She's actually quite calm now. She's normally very, very hissy. Oh, okay, on cue. I love how that orange is surrounded by the, then it goes into the red. Hey, it's almost like my cave. She is an absolute beauty. Let's try and focus on her a little bit better. Come on, there we go. Yeah, so they're doing very, very well. Smashing rats and quails. And yeah, she's got some good size to her now. Little bit more size before I'll attempt to breed her, though she is big enough to breed. I just don't see why we should rush things. So yeah, just for maybe a size comparison, there she is next to my foot. Some nice girth to her. Now she just gets about a medium rat once a month, and sometimes she'll get a little more of a break. I don't want to push her too hard. Oh, here we go, girl. But yeah, she's doing very well, absolutely stunning. Let's see if we can get her to come out straight. Well, this hook here is 90 centimeters. Ooh, okay, girl. Sorry, I was filming all over the place. Now, so their colors are pretty good. You can see their patterns nicely. I don't know what else you guys really want to know about them as an update. They're just a bit bigger. Colors changed a little bit as well, maybe. But yeah, they're doing very, very well. Sorry, girl. Oh. As I say, she's quite huffy puffy. I barely work with them. I don't handle them much at all. I leave them be. Luckily, gaboons are not too bad. Although I've got one gaboon which is absolutely nuts. It is super, super scary to work with him. You cannot touch him. Not a chance. He'll do a full 180 and smash you. Come on, girl. It's okay. Yeah, so that's Ruby. Unfortunately, the other female, she is going to be shedding, so I'm not going to bother her. And we can maybe have a quick look at our boy. Alright, so here's Ra. He's my boy. You can see how his colors are a bit lighter on the lighter end, and then the other female is even more yellow. She's got lots of yellows on her. I mean, you guys know how gaboons vary a lot. They're extremely variable snakes. So with the albinism, we also get quite a lot of variation. And those of you who ever laugh at me saying albino, that's how we pronounce it here in South Africa, UK English. Whereas I know you guys say albino. Now you can see this water bowl is a little bit low. The reason I go with a small water bowl like this is now I know this snake is well hydrated, because I filled this maybe 2 days ago and it was overflowing. So I've got these small water bowls and I can see, he's drank really well. Drank a lot of water, so he's well hydrated. I don't have to worry too much about him. Cool. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And those of you who wanted to see an update on the gaboons, I hope this will suffice. I think the next update will be once I actually get some babies out of them, because there's not too much of more educational value in me showing videos of these snakes. There's not much of a difference now. I know I haven't shown them in quite a long time, besides photos. But yeah, here they are. And he is an absolute stud. Cool. Please like, subscribe. Hopefully we'll get a lot more content out there for you guys.